Hi, I'm Mark Smith, Director of Executive Edge. We're a company that specialises in helping people in performance roles to consistently perform at their personal peak. Are you an executive, senior manager, team leader or business owner and are curious to discover the formula that will allow you to beat your competition hands down and achieve a 3 to 10-fold increase in profits through effective leadership to meet your KPIs, business goals and propel your company forwards in an accelerated manner? Over the past 20 years, I've had the privilege of competing with some of the world's best athletes, being trained by some of the best high-performance coaches and business leaders, and I've represented Australia 4 times at Asia Pacific and World Championships. And I just recently returned from America where I ran the world's toughest mudder 24-hour event. The reason why I'm sharing all this is having coached and competed myself at very high levels and having trained business leaders as well as corporate executives from KPMG, Rio Tinto and Pete, and also having worked with the British Olympic team and Australian soccer stars, I know what works when it comes to having high quality outcomes in your personal life and your personal business. Over years and years of being in this environment, I discovered there were 12 key characteristics and 5 fundamental principles that allowed athletes, executives and business owners to play at their peak. And what I mean by this, for example, one client I was working with was always expecting resistance from his boss and always preparing for battle. When he changed his approach from fighting for his ideas to selling the ideas, he found there was less confrontation and more time to focus on doing his job well and driving the performance of his team, which also allowed him to relax and enjoy better health. Another client has learned how to prioritize and say no to the things that were not important for him, his time wasters or distractors, and I'm sure you know these well. This led to increased productivity and focus, which has freed up his time, giving him more time to spend with his family and enjoy his lifestyle. These principles and characteristics have also helped executives whose KPIs depend on company performance to lead their teams more effectively and consistently to hit their KPIs and achieve their own bonuses. So many business owners, executives, team leaders and managers, they all go through a certain sequence in which they feel they have either reached the top of their career or they're not able to drive and inspire their teams. Or they feel like there is someone else more capable of their role, or they feel as they move up in their career, they feel exposed or a fraud, wondering how they ever got to that level. And then suddenly on the other side, there are people who are actually achieving all this effortlessly, or so it seems. Now, having been on both sides, having been a top athlete myself, having coached some amazing top level clients myself, I've seen both sides of this world. And I know exactly what works and what doesn't. And over years and years of observing this, I came up with 12 key characteristics and 5 fundamental principles of peak performers. Now, many of you think, what does being a top athlete have to do with being an amazing business leader? Many of you think peak performance is about physical ability, but in business, that doesn't count for much. What does matter is your mental performance and mindset. The good news is, these are all characteristics that can be learnt by anyone. Anyone can learn them. Now, as I mentioned, there are 12 characteristics and 5 fundamental principles of peak performers, but I'm not going to go through all of them right now. That is actually why I've created this introduction. So for those of you who are serious about changing how you are leading your teams, who are looking for inspired leadership to be congruent with yourself so that you are showing up in your business starts to reflect that more powerfully, then sign up below to get instant access to my free 20-minute training video. In this video I will share with you the 12 key characteristics and walk you through a checklist for you to find out where you are and where you need to be. As Einstein once said, you can't solve a problem with the same thinking that created it. And hence, this is your opportunity to change that level of thinking. So go ahead, enter your details now to start to create your own personal change that will have you living your life at the level of performance you would like for it to be at. I'll see you on the other side.